So the race was close, but the outcome wasn't really a shock. Political analyst Jon Keller is here to break it all down for us now. So are we surprised about the results today?
I don't think it was especially surprising, especially with the abysmally low turnout.
Sure.
This was always going to be a race that relied on who could identify and pull out their vote. We knew Michelle Wu was going to do that. She's done it twice, topping the ticket in the city council at large race twice, and clearly had the most effective field organization. You could tell that back in May when she turned around her nomination papers overnight, much quicker than any of the other candidates. And as far as Sharpedged George goes, you know, when you've got the police, the firefighters, the nurses with you, those people know how to phone bank and identify their neighbors and turn out the vote, and she did it, and you could see it early on. The vote in South Dorchester, West Roxbury, etc., really turned out for her.
Yeah, turnout on primary day, which essentially is what this was, is always the key. So, of course, we are in the midst of a pandemic, but everybody's getting back to work, getting back to school. This has been portrayed, because it is such an historic election, with all of these women on the ballot, people of color on the ballot. Why do you think turnout was so low?
You know, great question. Hard to say for sure. It wasn't significantly lower than 4 years ago. Or 8 years ago, but it was lower, and you expected, with all the hype, as you mentioned, something more than
Does it mean anything for November, though?
You know, that's a really good question. I think one factor may have been a sense that, hey, these are all pretty likable candidates. They all look good to me. I'll let somebody else sort out the final two, and then I'll punch in. But, you know, there will be more TV debates, including one here at WBZ, and I think that'll get people some more into it.
That was a remarkable aspect of this race. The candidates not going after each other in a really visceral way. It was very positive, and a lot of people who put forward their platforms, and that's always interesting, the way that shakes out at the end of the day.
You know, there were certainly sharp-edged policy criticisms. Andrea Campbell, for instance, notably kind of hammered away at Kim Janey on policy grounds repeatedly, and I think that hurt Janey. But, you know, in the era of social media, Paula, you don't need to throw the sharp elbows. You got plenty of people online to do it for you. And I think neither Michelle Wu nor Sharpedged George is any kind of shrinking violet. I don't think they'll, their hug today notwithstanding, I don't think they'll back away from drawing those comparisons during the next coming weeks.
All right, Jon Keller, thanks so much for joining us today.